I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to East West Podcast with your host, Hori Sumi. All right, today, this episode, something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and now I've got the impetus to do it because of all the stuff coming out in the news about AI being put into our mobile phones. So I thought I'd talk about it in relation to tattooing and obviously the slippery slope of it integrating into our everyday lives and the technology that we use all the time. I often joke that, my job, and if you're a tattooer, your job is secure because robots will never be able to tattoo, right? That's an ongoing joke that seems a lot less funny these days because there's people out there that actually want robots to tattoo them. It's a thing, they've made these 3D style printers that put little silly tattoos on people, and people seem to think this is a great idea. But at the beginning of the conversation, if we look at how AI has been brought into the arts and the crafts and, the artistic expression of humans, it's kind of fucking things up, right? It's disrupting, When I was a kid a long time ago, people would say in the future, the robots are going to do all the shit jobs, and then we'll be able to have a life of leisure and do the things that we want to do. It seems what's happened, though, is that robots, if we use the term colloquially to refer to AI, artificial intelligence is doing the kind of cool stuff, like creating art and doing writing and doing creation, and humans are still doing the shit jobs, right? Like people who are working in copywriting and working in publishing, in academia, and they're seeing that the AI is, screenwriting, all these things, right? Just in terms of writing, the AI is doing incredible things, right? Not necessarily incredible in a good way, just incredible. And then we look at video, the stuff going on with video and photography and imagery. Artificial intelligence is doing incredible stuff again, right? And again, I say incredible, like the nuclear weapon, atomic bomb was incredible, but not necessarily in a good way. And I see that in a similar fashion. You can go into an AI program like Bing AI image generator, and you can type in stuff with a prompt, and it's very detailed. You can get really nice stuff. And look, it hasn't happened to me, but I hear stuff about people bringing in AI generated artwork to their artists. They want them to reproduce it exactly like that. And look, for some people that do flash work, I'm sure that doesn't bother them. For tattooers who are more custom art oriented and more creative in their own approach to their work, I could see it being slightly offensive, or maybe not offensive, but just like, fuck, man, I'll draw something better for you that's original, right? So we've got that aspect of it. We've got the AI sort of creeping into the creative process in a big way. And then we've got artificial intelligence creeping into, reference imagery as well, right? And look, I've experimented with this, right? If you go into an AI image generator and you say you have to draw something, right? You can type in the prompt, let's say tiger on a craggy rock outcrop, right? And you can give it the how you want it to look. And you can write in Japanese style or ukiyo-e style or old Chinese style. And look, it'll pump out decent looking reference material, right? I think that's interesting. The problem, though, like everything, is that people won't use it just for reference. They'll just copy it. And then, again, look, I get people in my comments saying, oh, why are you so obsessed with iPad drawing? Why are you so obsessed with this and that? It's not that I'm obsessed. I'm just a purist, right? I'm a purist in the sense that, if you're watching me talk and you're listening to what I have to say and you follow my career a little bit, my interest lies in the craft and the practicing of the craft. I like to make needles. I like to make ink. I like to draw stuff on paper. I like to have a relationship with my clients. All these things. For being a craftsman, this is the whole point of it, right? I could buy ink ready-made and save myself tons of time and headache. I could buy needles. I could, draw on a fucking iPad. I could use AI for reference instead of buying books. I could just trace stuff out of books instead of actually learning how to draw. A lot of people do this stuff, right? But my ethos and the thing that I'm interested in, and the whole point of this podcast, is that I want to do things the hard way, so to speak, or the traditional way, or the pure way, to get a pure product, right? A pure outcome. So that's why, that's why I'm obsessed with trying to talk to people about drawing on paper and why I eschew the iPad. Oh, look, I use an iPad. I have an iPad with reference material. I have all my books from my library. I don't know if you guys seen photos of my library. I'll post them up sometime. I've got a wall of books, and I've digitized every one of those books, and I have them in my iPad, and I carry my iPad with me, and when I'm drawing on paper, I'm looking at the imagery on my iPad, and I'm using that for reference, right? So that's my, technical thing. The AI for reference, look, it's interesting. I showed some to a friend of mine the other day, and he pointed out that it's, there's weird things in it, right? It doesn't when it does, AI does humans, it puts 6 fingers and stuff like that. It does stuff like that, right? It'll, draw a tiger with the wrong amount of toes, or the teeth will be not right, So you got to be careful with that shit if you're using that for reference. Look, it's a gimmick, and I had to look at it. I'd rather go back to my books. I'd rather go back and look at woodblock prints and paintings and old tattoos. I'd rather use that for what I do. If you're a different kind of tattooer, it could be great. It could be great, right? But I think, it has a pitfall to it. As you become reliant on it, and you become reliant on not having to draw, not having to use your brain, not having to be creative. And I think that's a danger as an artist. The other thing that's come to my attention, which is, I had no fucking idea, is that tattooers are faking portfolios using AI image generators, right? They're literally faking portfolios. So they're inputting, I saw a video on it the other day. It was a Deadpool video. Guy did a Deadpool sleeve, photorealistic, and the guy had inputted in the prompt to create a Deadpool realistic color portrait on the guy's arm, and the whole thing was fake, right? And it looked real, it looked pretty good, unless you started nitpicking it. And apparently there's people out there doing this. They're creating entirely fake portfolios of black and gray work. Japanese, you can't fake. It's just too nuanced, and it's too, you can't fake Japanese. I've tried with the AI to see if it'll do it, and it won't. It can't do drag. There's a lot of shit it just can't get right, can't get the backgrounds right, which is good. But with the realistic stuff and the black and gray stuff, AI can completely fake a portfolio. So something to keep in mind if you're hunting for an artist is make sure it's fucking real, right? Because that's, to the uninitiated, it would be very easy to get tricked like that. So that's an interesting thing to look at. And if you follow me on Instagram, which I do, I guess, because you're watching this, or if you're on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. I post this stuff now and then on my stories. And if I can find this video again, I posted it last week. If I find it again, I'll post it again. You guys can check it out. Apparently, the other thing people are doing is they're retouching their own tattoo photos with AI to make them look better and to accentuate, the imagery. And again, slippery slope, right? You take a real tattoo, you start running it through AI, start running it through a bunch of filters, you start using the iPad and Procreate to make it look better. And then it's not really a tattoo photo anymore, right? You're selling something that you can't create. And so I think that's dishonest and unethical, of course. And, you know, I don't think it's good. It's not good for tattooing. It's not good for you as an artist, and it's definitely not good for you as a client. If you're getting a tattoo and expecting it to look like this, and it doesn't look like that, and there's no fucking recourse, right? There's literally no fucking recourse. There's no Better Business Bureau that's going to get you a refund. Putting somebody on blast lasts about fucking 5 seconds. You're not going to laser off a sleeve down to fresh skin again. You know, so it's something to keep in mind. Right? Now, what's the next iteration of the AI integrating into the tattoo world, right? You know, is it going to be AI integrated into Procreate in the iPad, where you're going to be able to text prompt? I mean, you can already do this in Photoshop, right? I mean, you can already go into Photoshop and you can generate stuff with the AI integrated into Photoshop. So I guess we're already there. I'm thinking in the iPad though, if you can integrate AI and get AI to draw stuff while you're drawing or integrate it with your drawing, I'm sure that's going to be coming soon. Apple just announced that they are rolling out iOS 18, which will have Apple Intelligence, which is OpenAI, integrated into the operating system. I guess integrated with all the apps and all the operating system. And then the new OS for the laptops, for the MacBooks and for the Macs will also have Apple Intelligence integrated into it, and Siri will have ChatGPT integrated into it. So while not necessarily tattoo related, it's the big picture thing of artificial intelligence being shoved into our lives, for better or for worse. I would say for worse. We've all seen, you know, Terminator, Skynet. People are making the reference that Apple Intelligence is literally Skynet being put into our phones, and it's just a matter of time, right? If you look at the track record of OpenAI and Gemini AI, which is the Google version, which Google will be putting into the Android stuff, it's not good. It's very, let's call it left-leaning, progressive, and woke in its thinking, right? So to have this stuff integrated into your everyday technology that knows everything about you, right? So your phone knows everything about you, right? Every email you've written, whatever you look at, whatever you do with your phone, the images you send your friends, what you write to your wife and your children and your mother, you know, having a artificial intelligence have access to that. And then who knows if that artificial intelligence they haven't said yet whether it's localized to the phone or whether it's going to be calling home or being part of the hive mind. You know, as an example, Adobe, which I use to make these videos, I use Adobe Premiere, and I use Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom. I have a subscription. I've supported them for years. And they just put out a new terms and conditions the other day, and this might blow your mind, right? Is that they now are saying they have complete access to all of your content, all of your imagery, that if Photoshop or Premiere has access to it, Adobe has access to it, to teach their AI, their machine learning algorithms on your content, right? So if you're a photographer or an artist or a videographer of some sort, and you're doing cool stuff, AI is going to use your stuff to teach its AI how to replicate your stuff for other people, right? Which is fucking insane. And it's also going to content moderate, right? So if you're making videos like this, or if you're photoshopping stuff or doing whatever, and the Adobe AI finds stuff that it doesn't like, that doesn't go with its community guidelines or goes against its parameters, it will snitch you out. It'll cancel your account and shut down your ability to use their apps. So it's going to content moderate stuff on your own computer. So if you were making like, anti-COVID lockdown brochures or flyers or videos, and that gets put into the algorithm for the AI, it's just going to shut down your stuff. You won't be able to do that anymore, and it'll cancel your subscription. So this is a worry as well. And if you're a tattoo artist, obviously if you're using Adobe, and maybe Procreate's going to have something similar in the future, if you're drawing stuff, you're creating stuff, the AI will have access to your stuff, and then it'll teach its AI how to use your stuff, and then push it back up to the hive, and then disseminate it down to the masses. So something to keep in mind as well there, that if you're, drawing cool shit in Procreate, maybe in a year's time, somebody will just be able to do a text prompt and have your style of stuff put onto their iPad. So something that doesn't happen when you draw on paper. So those are my thoughts on AI for today. I'll leave it at that. The whole point of art is human creation, human expression, and I see all this being counter to that, right? I get some people look at tattooing as just a job, and it's no different than being a barista or, whatever, right? A copy job at a newspaper or, graphic designer, whatever, right? I don't look at it like that. That's not me. People I'm talking to, I'm not talking to you graphic designer types. I'm talking to the artists with passion that love tattooing and love creating, and it's their life. That's the people that want to get their hands dirty and want to do things the hard way and don't want to cut corners. That's that's what I'm talking to. So, and that's what I care about. And I don't think anybody in their right fucking mind wants a robot tattooing them. And I don't think anybody wants computer-generated art tattooed on them in their right mind. I find that idea abhorrent. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. I'm interested to know what you guys think about this, because it's quite a deep topic. And I can keep going on about it, but I won't. But drop me comments or DMs, whatever, and let me know what you think of the AI being integrated not only into our lives, but into our art, into our culture, and permeating all the things that we consume, right? Like we consume TV and movies and music and all these things, and we already know that our music we listen to is all fake. It's all auto-tuned. It's all garbage. And that's why music sucks now. Not the indie bands, but fairly mainstream stuff from hip hop to rock to pop. It's all garbage, right? And, modern art's fucking garbage. And it looks like with the integration of AI and all this stuff, it's not going to get any better. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. So don't be shy. Say something. I'll see you on YouTube or I'll see you on Instagram. And I'll see you next week. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.